Honestly, I think what makes this place so special and unique is the people. Like Graham Lassard and Eric Cinnamon have always been such a joy to work with, and without them, none of this would be possible. Like they figured out how to make this room work for such a large ensemble. For me, I just feel comfortable recording with Graham. I've done several albums, so many singles, recorded by him, and he's just such a pro, and he's the best.
Hey, I'm Graham Lassard. I'm the recording engineer for Caity Gyorgy and Mark Limacher's new record. Caity, Mark, and I worked well together from the first time we tried it, and I've always been impressed by their organization and their professionalism and their preparation and their creativity. And they don't shy away from making decisions on the fly, and they don't worry too much about unimportant details. They're very much able to switch between, focus on the big picture and just dive into the weeds when they need to. On the other hand, in a bigger sense, when I started doing this kind of work, the technical creative work of recording music, I thought it was because I loved records, which I do, and I'm really proud of the records that I've helped make. Mark and Caity's records for sure. Really proud of what we've done together, but actually after all of these records come out, it's the working relationships that I tend to actually spend the most time thinking about, and that I've come to realize how valuable those are in my life.
I've worked with Graham just doing other stuff with Caity. Yeah, he's really exceptional talent. He makes everything really comfortable in the studio. Everything sounds unbelievable, and it's fun to get to talk with him every now and then about different recordings and where he gets his ideas for sounds.
I think the reason I like working with Graham so much is that he has an ear for so-called classical instruments. He just has an intuitive sense of how to record small orchestras, because if we were trying to do this with someone who may not have a passion or an interest in that, it probably wouldn't sound as convincing, because he knows, you wouldn't crank this section for some reason because you'd throw out of balance the way an ensemble like this is meant to sound. Mm-hmm. And he's such a genius at that I, as you said, I feel so comfortable working with him. I just trust his decisions entirely.
Mm-hmm.
The room itself is very, very special because it's a really high-end acoustic design, and it's designed to sound live. It's not designed like a lot of studios were in the 80s and 90s, for example, to be a very acoustically dead space to get close, dry recordings. This room was always designed with acoustic performance in mind, so you can even hear, probably in the sound of my voice, a little bit of the room getting back into the microphone there. We've got a reverb time of around 1 or 1.5 seconds in here, so the sound hangs in the air naturally, not exactly like in a concert hall like an orchestral musician would be used to, but certainly a lot more than in most recording studios. So it does have a natural sound in here, and that's something a lot of the musicians told me over the last few days when they were recording, is how nice the room sounds. As musicians that are dependent on acoustic feedback to get their sound and their tone and their performance right, I think this room is unique in the world of recording studios, that it actually gives you real acoustic feedback.
I'm very sort of chuffed to know that, in fact, we are the first ones to use this room to the maximum degree it was in fact designed for. It was designed to hold 40 musicians if necessary, and we are the first people to do that, and that's quite exciting.
I was talking to Karsten about this, the trombone player, and he sort of mentioned the fact that because we did it here and we did it with the musicians that we did it with, it didn't seem like a job, and it felt more like we were all coming together to make something really fantastic together. And we could have done this project in any city in North America or Europe or Asia or wherever, but the fact that Mark has personal connections with every member of the orchestra, and I know several of these people as well, obviously, I don't know everyone,
Absolutely.
but I think that made the whole thing more of like a community effort. And I think we were all sort of in it for the same reasons. It wasn't just another gig. It was, we're all making an album together, and it's gonna be wonderful.
I think the biggest, one of the coolest things about this record to me is that they're doing it locally within mostly Calgary. I think there's a few really great musicians down from Edmonton, but that the vast majority of the ensemble is all based in this city, and that we're using a beautiful studio right here in downtown, and we're using an engineer like Graham, showing the caliber of playing that's available in this part of the world. Yeah, I really think that's one of the coolest things about this.
Agreed.
We meant to do this in Calgary. There was never any other location this would have been done, because we believe that the quality of recording studios, of engineers, of videographers, of musicians here is just as high as any other city in North America. And we wanted to prove that, and I think we have.
Sight is a sight to behold if you're simply not there.
If people haven't listened to it and they're watching this, they really should go listen to it and then buy another copy for their friends and their enemies and random people they meet on the street. Because I think everyone needs to hear it.